think that before we go on to questions.
All right. Our first question says, it seemed like everything was going so well for Malia. She woke up feeling refreshed. Should she just expect every time she is happy, something will go wrong? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, 115%. She better just buckle up and get ready for this roller coaster ride. The only thing that's going to help is if she moves away from Rose City, drops her friends and her family, and just starts a new life somewhere. But I mean, at this point, Chan's going to find her because he owns her now. So I mean, it's really a wrap. So she needs to just get on board and realizes this is her life now, or it's over. So live in hell or die. So, welcome to Rose City.
Welcome to the city, where you don't have very many options. Alicia, or jump on.
You see his face.
Or like, I don't like either of the choices. If you ask me, I never know. That's KA's world, I guess. Expect for stuff to go, but it happens with her. But it is what it is with her. As soon as stuff, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but she shouldn't expect that, but it's her, and everybody's obsessed with her, and that's territory, I guess. All that fineness.
Are your thoughts?
Sorry, guys. I was trying to say, I think that it's kind of disappointing when you start to get to that point in your life where you're like, well, I have some really good things, but then it's like every time I seem to get excited for something, something wrong happens. And you can very easily slip into that, and I'm gonna say it like depression kind of state of mind where it's like, well, something, good is happening finally, so what else do I have to prepare myself for? And it can be really disappointing, especially when you don't come from such a chaotic lifestyle anyways. So honestly, like Kyrie said, if you're not ready or you don't really care to always have some type of drama in your life, you're gonna have to drop them people and you're gonna have to leave. So, you know, my answer on it.
Sad. Yeah. For me, in the sense of thinking, every time you get happy, should you look for the roof to fall in on you, right? It seems to be like that kind of reaction that anytime something good is happening, you always have to look to the left because something bad is going to try to jump out and will take her happiness away from her. And I think that is a problem that I suffer with in our society, feeling like one moment things great, and the next moment it's not your family, your friends, or your coworkers, or the person you're in a relationship with. It's always like something happening. So, like Bella said, you need to take a evaluation of your life. Who can I cut off? Like start trimming the fat off because it is not normal to just live with this feeling like every 10 minutes that happen because that's not a life worth living. I think what Leah needs to do here is stay ready, baby. Stay ready because you still got April because she want them hands, okay? She want hands and some turkey. Alicia know what it is. So she knows she gotta stay ready for whatever it might be. Whether it is April, whether it is in that little funky crew, whether it's her family, her grandpa, Antonio foolishness, might run up out here crazy, whatever it might be. I just think that Malia needs to be like, hey, I'm gonna live my life and nobody's gonna stop because if you try for me and my peace, I'm gonna destroy you. Next.
Okay, so Malia seems so torn between trying to live in the now while trying to push her problems away. Is that really the best strategy with her problems? Probably not the strategy, but with she's wild or whatever. But like with the last question, her just dropping is probably the best strategy for her right now. She's probably just don't want to is with him. She does. She's like, look, this moment, I'm going to enjoy this moment. I'm not worried about Chris. I'm not worried about, Antonio. I'm not worried about nothing. This is where I need to be. I just I want this to last as long as it can, cause she know once he goes home or, something's going to crack off. And so, yeah, I wish she had a better strategy, but I understand it. I understand her living in the now and not dealing with the drama right away. Sometimes it can be stressful. And yeah, I get it, but I don't think it's the best strategy.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the best strategy, but what else can you do? Everything is so out of your hands, and when there are no options, or the options you can take, it's going to put you in a worse situation. You tend to check out. You tend to just try to focus on and do what you can and let the chips fall where they may with other stuff. Because she can't do anything about it. And even we see here, she's finally calling the police, and then she's being accused of doing something wrong. It's just like, I'm asking for help, and now I'm the issue. I'm the problem. So she can't turn to her family because they're a bit oblivious. Half is oblivious. Her father's screwing her over. Also, her mom is oblivious. So yeah, if you think, if you've ever been in a situation where it's just like, there's nothing I can do, so I'm just going to put it out of my head, hope for the best, and focus on today. So I think she's doing what anybody else would do.
Honestly, piggybacking on Kyrie, I'm sorry, Queen, were you going to speak? Oh, okay. Piggybacking on kind of what you said, it's like I know for myself, just when everything seems really chaotic and I just need to focus on the one thing I got going, I really kind of disassociate with everything else. And it's not really always the healthiest thing because then the actual real problems are always put on the back burner. And it's not like, they're gone or, it's off the stove. It's still there burning and it's something that I'm gonna have to deal with later. But it's like when you don't have the headspace or you're not in your right state of mind to where you can deal with that. I say, hey, if it's not going to kill me, it can wait till tomorrow. It can wait till next week, or I can deal with it another time when I feel like I'm comfortable enough to do that. So,
Facts, honey. Bella out here good this morning in this church. Absolutely. I think that, yeah, it's definitely torn. Why would she not be? Because you got problems that you're dealing with, but then you also are trying to like live in the now. And I think she's doing the best that she can do, and the best that she can do is focus on one thing or whatever, and try to put your focus on that. You have to. I would say you almost have to build up the courage to deal with those things that are like if it's something deep inside of you or if it's external issues. You have to build up courage. You have to start getting a game plan. And maybe the best game plan in the moment is stay in the moment, keep moving forward. Everything else will start to work itself out. Like you said, tomorrow, next week, then let's do it. We don't want to get into the habit of just like avoiding things or pushing things away. But I will say that you have things when you have mental capacity to deal with it. Because some stuff you probably don't want to open up that can just right now. Some stuff you might want to wait on that a little bit. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel like Malia just needs to take it one day at a time, focus on control and focus on the positive. and whatever negative is in her life, she has to just start cutting it off one string at a time. Because that's what has helped me in my life, is literally cutting things and people off one string at a time. I didn't have the courage or the strength to just do a whole full clean out. I mean, wipe everybody out, right? I didn't have it in me, but one string at a time, cut it until you can get to that point where you do have enough strength, like, good, and you deal with it as you can, but you don't want to become overwhelmed. But yeah, that's it. Let me call and see where we see that.
I feel like women have a really hard time when they're in a community and they want you to do everything the way everybody else is doing, and we see a lot of women having a lot of issues when they decide to go against the grain. Because you look back and you observe and you say, this didn't work out for my mother. This didn't work out for my grandmother. This didn't work out for all these other women that I see in my life. I got to do something different. I got to be that black sheep. I got to be willing to face my fear and step out and do something different because it didn't work for them. Why should I be foolish enough to think that it's going to work for me if I continue to do the same things that they were doing? It's crazy. And we see it often when women decide to go against the grain in their community. They're often attacked the most. And it's unfortunate, but, they want you to fall in line. And a lot of people in Malia's family want her to fall in line and do things the way that everybody else has been doing. And she's just like, no, I don't want to do it because y'all are crazy. So I feel like she's getting a lot of flack, because, you're going this way and the current is going that way. It's going to be rough. So, if she keeps going, maybe she'll make it through. But I mean, now that Chance got a hold of her, I don't see that happening.
You always go back to, Dan's in her way now, and it's about to be a problem. I love how he bring back. He's sexy, he's fine, all this together. He's a whole serial killer. Don't trust him. Don't trust him, The next one's mine. When Malia stood in the middle of the street after seeing Chris, my heart stopped for her. At this point, Chris is extremely dangerous. Did no one see this man has been coming unglued? Does he have any family or friends who can help him? From a previous chapter, we talked a little bit about Chris's background, and he basically came from some people's eyes, like, he's really crazy. So he has some issues, and there's really nobody to step in for Chris. Chris is dangerous. And my cat is over here fighting stuff. So no, there's really nobody there for Chris. Chris he's a lone wolf. He has some issues. And Malia has just been caught up in of craziness, essentially. And that's always something that we ask that question when somebody is doing things that are strange. It's like, well, who the hell? You didn't see this? Like, nobody's speaking up, like, saying that. So I did. Kind of goes back to Chris being a lone wolf. Like, he really is on his own. I don't think he has family or friends or anybody close enough to him. Because if anybody saw that he was behaving this way, they would call it out. And I'm going to say that people who behave like Chris, it's not typically an isolated incident. He didn't just wake up one day and became crazy with Malia. He's been doing weird stuff all the time. You know what I mean? Like, and even people, they'll stalk you and stuff, but they're stalking other people too. You're not the single sole object of their affection. No, they spreading it out. Okay, they have a few people on that list they're harassing. So no, I don't feel like has people in his corner who see that he's coming unglued and trying to get him. Maybe he wouldn't be out here acting like that if he had that help. Wait, please.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And what we read from his family, they're pretty crazy too, So he has a lot of that in his DNA, and the abuse that he suffered as a child and the things that, he has seen. Trauma can do a lot, when you've experienced things from a child. But I definitely agree. He's definitely done something similar to other women. Who knows when he actually showed up in Rose City? Because we know he's not from Rose City. And he's been doing the little things at the barista, but unfortunately he has set his sights on Malia, and she just made him just completely unhinged. So it takes that special lady, to unhinge that special man.
I think that honestly, especially when you're dating somebody and you go to their family and it just seems like there's always like a constant problem, or like you try to speak up and say something, they look at you like, well, what am I supposed to do? Um, and that's not something that I can really get down with, especially if you know like these people in your family are a little nuts. Sometimes that they can go off their rocker a little bit. Um, so honestly, when you see that people are becoming unglued like that and you go to their family, a lot of times the people don't help. They know that their family members are crazy, and it's just kind of like, oh well, that's how Johnny is. That's how he is. And it's like people don't allow their family members to take responsibility for their behavior, especially when it's really erratic. At this point, you get to going crazy. I'm just gonna have to handle you myself, okay? I'm not going to keep calling your family and asking them for help, because at that point, then they start looking at you like, well, why do you stay with this person then? We're not gonna do anything about it. That's on you. And so then it becomes, who can you go for, for help? When you go to, like I said, when she had went to the police station and was talking to the detectives about everything, and the way that they were asking her questions as if she did something to provoke him. That's not fair. And then it makes people feel like, especially women, I can't go and get help. I can't ask, somebody to save me. And it seems like every time that somebody does it, I get blamed for it. So honestly, going to any of his friends or family, it just, I wouldn't even worry about it. Just go on ahead and get the restraining order, do what you can do. And next time he comes, just have you a little gun in your hand and just get ready to do a little pow pow, because that's what he gonna need at this point.